All right. Welcome to Nordic Magic Link. Today I have Gudrun with me, also known as the Vølva from Ribe, or the Vølven fra Ribe in Danish. One of the few true Vølvas that we have today. And she is from Denmark as well. Welcome, Gudrun.
Thank you very much, and thank you for inviting me into your space.
I'm very happy you accepted my invitation because this is This is a topic that I have a lot of interest for, and I know a lot of people have as well in America as well, especially people who have ancestry from the north, from Scandinavia. So we're excited to dive into your wealth of knowledge. So let's just jump into. I always start by asking people how they got started in what they do and what they do. How did you get started with this?
Well, it's a long path, I will say. I have been an Asatru believer since I was a kid. I was never into this Christian stuff. It was not my idea of believing, and my dad was Asatru as well, but we never performed any kind of rituals. We just said we were Asatru and we have a Thor's hammer, and that was it. And then many years ago, 25 years ago, something like that, I suddenly found out that there were many more people in Denmark and all over the world actually who also was Asatru believers, and then we started Vølven fra Ribe, which are the Asatru belief association in Denmark, and I have always been very interested in healing herbs. Not really in magic, but healing herbs I really has been studied and been into. Well, and then, yeah, what should I say? I met interested people who taught me things also about the runes. And it was like the road just opened in front of me. I was to some workshops about Seiðr and shamanism. Seiðr is a Nordic kind of shamanism where we are using the song to go into a trance instead of drums. But those days had not really worked for me. So I put a little bit away. I found my husband, that we got kids, and when the kids are small, you should not deal with things like that, is my idea. And then the kids slowly grow up, and suddenly one day I was then working, which I'm also am now, working at the place called Ribe Vikinge Centre, the Viking Centre in Ribe. I was there only in the summer, and I said to my bosses that I would like during the winter to get deeper into the runes, to know about how to give good advices with the runes. And they said, "Oh, it's a good idea." And then I went to Iceland. I often do that. I have very good friends up there, and my blood sister, she came to the airport and picked me up, and she said, well, I think one of the first things she said was, "Hey, there's this woman. I really like you to meet her when you're here this time." I said, "Okay, right, I will look forward. Who is it?" And it was a Icelandic Völva and Góði called Jóhanna Hardadóttir, and she worked with the runes. And I have said nothing to my sister about this. I wanted to learn about the runes. So it was one of the things that told me this is the right path you're on. Johanna did not really taught me about the runes, but she pointed out the way. Because as I see it, the runes, you have to learn by the runes. You cannot learn by other people, but you have to learn by experience. The runes will talk to you if you should go that path. And then we'll again met the right people in the right time and been deeper and deeper into the work of the Völva. Before that, also I have been a Godi many times, which are kind of a priest for the Asatru believers. I perform weddings, funerals, divorces, name givings, name whatever, all kind of rituals I do also. And I have been reading really a lot into the sources of North mythology. So, well, you can say I'm a kind of a nerd. So yeah, I will say the path just opened for me. And yeah, here I am now, and working with the runes, working with Seiðr, still Godi when it's time for that. So yeah, that's my life.
Wonderful. And you mentioned a few things that maybe we should explain. You mentioned Asatru and you mentioned Blod.
Yeah.
For those who don't know what that is, could you describe it?
Yeah. As an Asatru believer, I believe in the Nordic gods. And we have many gods. I like that. That is not only one. And for me, let me say it like this. To be an Asatru believer is to be very free. We have no right way to believe. We make our own beliefs, so to say. So I can see it in one way, another can see it in another way, and both of us are right. And as I see it, I see the gods as beings in another. Sorry. Siri is crazy now.
And before you continue, I'm also noticing there's some machinery outside. I'm going to close the door.
Okay.
We can't have all this modern day interruptions.
Mm.
All right. So Siri has been taken care of, and
no, I see the gods as beings in another dimension, and I can go there in the Seiðr to meet them. I can also go there when I'm dead, and they can come here. But I also see them as pictures of the nature and pictures of things inside myself. I cannot ask. Yes, I can ask Thor for help if I'm in trouble, but he will not come and help me. But he might give me the strength so I can help myself. For me, it's a very, what can you say? You have to believe in yourself. You have to take responsibility of your own life. You cannot just put it in the God's hands. You'd have to action yourself, and also the knowledge that every action has a consequence. Also, no action has also consequences. That is something very important, and that you are able to look yourself in the mirror every day and say, well, you might not did things absolutely right, but you could not do it in other ways. To be proud of yourself. So that is very quick description about Asatru. And Asatru, we can go out and make bloats. Bloat is a kind of ritual where we honor the gods, so to say. We go down. I can do it alone with no problems, but mostly we go some people together, stand in a circle, and then call upon the gods, share some meat, raising energy, you can say.
Okay.
Sometimes we also make offerings, sacrifices.
So bloat is the most important ritual in Asatru?
Yeah, I would say that, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And do you, today, do you sacrifice animals and things like that, like they used to, or is it more other things?
I do.
Okay.
I do it in the midwinter, and I do it that way that I go out. I have a little farm, so I raise my own animals. So I will during the summer I will pick one lamb and I will say this lamb is the sacrificial lamb. And the day where we'll have the bloat, I will go out and I will slaughter it, kill it the right way, totally, so it will not have any pain or something like that, after all the rules. And I will keep the blood, and I will take the meat, and the meat we will eat to dinner in the evening. So you can say it's our food. It's not waste of life. But when I shoot the lamb, I sing a song for it, to honor it. And we will carry the hide and the bones and the skull down to the sacred place with us and put it up so it can participate in the bloat. We will go back and eat the meat of the lamb, and I will use the blood in the ritual. And when we have been eating, I go down and say thank you and send the lamb to the gods with greetings. So I will say it's not for me very much different if I slaughter the lamb that day or another day and eat the meat that day.
Yeah. And this is, something our ancestors have always done. And it's interesting. I actually, there was a shaman from the other side that communicated to me at one point that taking a life is just as sacred as giving life.
Yeah.
And something that we have forgotten.
For me, it's all about respect.
Yeah.
That's also why I buy meat in the shops. I have to admit that, but I absolutely prefer to eat meat I have raised myself and slaughtered myself, because then I know that everything that has been done to that animal is with respect. People sometimes are very shocked when they hear that I had horses before, and when they should go from my farm, I slaughtered them and I'm now eating them. Because it was the best honor I could do to my horses. To, take them from the stable, they don't know what would happen, and then gone.
Do you feel like they're now part of you even more than before?
Yes, the one especially. I have met him several times in Seiðr, and he's one of my fellows there. It's my helping spirits now.
You're one of your fylke?
Yeah, you can say that. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, this is ancient knowledge that we've forgotten in this modern society.
Yeah.
And slaughtering animals have been just a mechanical thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is very, very important knowledge. I don't know. Probably some people listening to this podcast are, also coming maybe from New Age spirituality, which is what I was raised in, and I was raised as a vegetarian, and I always had a lot of health issues, even though I was eating the most healthy of all people I knew. And it actually wasn't until I started eating meat that a lot of these things start coming around for me. And I really do think, our ancestors, and especially in the north, they have always eaten meat. We did not have that many vegetables and things to eat most of the year because of the cold. And also meat has the highest level of nutrients as well, and something that most people are unaware of. So I do feel like it's important now that as a lot of people are returning to these old ways, that we have this sacred way of doing it, and not just thinking of slaughter in a mechanical way, but we're actually respecting the animal and loving it.
It's all about respect. In my idea, and I say it like this: of course, it's nice if the meat is organic, but I prefer it had a name. Because if an animal had a name, somebody had loved it, and that is important. But again, people can eat meat. They can be vegetarians. They can be vegans. I don't care, as long as they don't care what I do. That is also important.
Freedom.
Yeah. And respect also among people.
Yeah. Good. Very good point. Well, very cool. So you have been doing a lot of work in Ribe, and when you do this both as a job, but you also do it in your in private, and you have clients as well with the runic sessions.
It's a kind of a lifestyle, I will say. It's not being a Völva it's actually not something you just can say, now I want to be a Völva and I call myself a Völva. People has to start calling you a Völva before you are a Völva, and in my case it was very early when I turned into this Viking reenactment thing also, because I knew so much about the northern mythology. Then people start to call me Völva, and that was before I have ever tried the Seiðr, which are one of the points of the Völva, but they say it's a Völva because of the knowledge. So it's, for me, it's also a little bit annoying that to be a Völva is a new black. 10 years ago, every 16 years old girl want to be a witch, and now they are Völvas, all of them, and I'm a little bit, you don't know what you're talking about, girls. I was called Völva far too early, to be honest, because it requires some age. It requires that you have been through some things. It's not something you can be when you're 17, in my opinion.
Yeah, and so you don't see the Völva as someone singing magical songs. You see it as someone who does everything in ritual work and knows about herbs and things like that.
I will say like this, that there's many ways, but before you can say you are a Völva, you have to also perform the magical songs. You have to make the Seiðr, and the magical songs is called Galðr. And Galðr and Seiðr is very, very specific for the Völva, because herbs is in every culture. But the Seiðr is Nordic. The way to travel, and we're not, you can say we're traveling, but when we are doing it sitting in the high chair, then you need somebody. You can't do it yourself, but it's a little bit difficult, but you need somebody to sing the Vardlokkur. And Vardlokkur it's a call upon the spirits. Vard is a spirit, and Lokkur is call upon. So you have to call upon the spirits, so the spirits come to you. Normally, when you are on a shamanic workshop, you say you have listen to this drum. You have to find a hole, go into the hole, and then you go to the other world. I do not. I'm sitting and waiting until my spirits are coming to me, and then they are taking me where I need to go. I don't go there alone, but I need also to have so much discipline that I can stop the thing myself. When you are making a drum travel, the drum will call you back. When you make the Seiðr, no one is calling you back. you are the one who's stopping the song. Will say, okay, now I'm back, and you put a stick in the ground. It requires much of discipline, because this other world is so much better to be in, to be honest.
Tell me about the other world. What do you see?
What do I see? I don't see that much, because in that world I'm not blind anymore, but I more feel what happened. I know who is there. I know what happened, but I'm not seeing unicorns and big mountains and everything. I just know who is it who comes and get me now, and who is with me. It's a knowledge more than things I see. But it's like I have a veil for my eyes still. And I think it's okay. As long as I'm told what happens, then it's fine.
But it feels different being there.
Yeah, it's a nice world. It's hard to explain, but it is really a nice world to be in.
Do you think you're visiting the world of the nature spirits?
There's many different worlds, and it depends on what is the question. What do I have to do? I can also travel to another place in our world, if that's the task for this Seiðr. I can go to the gods. I can go wherever my helpers will lead me, because they know where I need to go and they will take me there. Sometimes they just answer my questions themselves, but sometimes they need to put me to other spirits.
Do you feel that often when you're on the other side, that it's some kind of energetic work that's going on, like almost like say if it was a computer, like an update or something like that?
No, not really. Never thought about that. No.
So it's more information just
coming. But also again, it depends, because you can also make a Seiðr who change things if you want, so that you can. But mostly for me it's informations, because I'm not that much into changing things, because things are as they should be. It should be very, very important before I go in and say I'll change some things.
Okay.
Also, the weather, for example, there is Galðrs who can change the weather, but it's dangerous, because it also has some consequences.
Okay. So even though, like, if you were living in California like I am, and now we have the big wildfires raging, you wouldn't, in this situation, you wouldn't do a Galðr to call in rain?
In that sort of situation, yes.
Yeah.
I think that would be, there you have a very, very good reason to do it. But just because I don't like it to rain today, because I want to go to the beach, so I don't want rain, I'll make a Galðr to keep the rain away.
Yeah.
No.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I did try to call in rain, but so far no luck.
Nah.
But I'm gonna keep trying.
Yeah, I think that is, you have a good reason for it where you are.
Yeah. And also I feel the plants and the trees are telling me help.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay. Do you want to talk about how does a Seiðr ritual work? Like how do you build it up for someone who doesn't know?
Well, important thing is to have a kind of a high seat. Sitting on a chair, I need to have something. This Siri is totally crazy. It's my phone says, Siri says, "Hey, how can I help you?" And it's on silence, and
you need to stop her from listening to you.
I think it's when I say Seiðr, then she think I say Siri.
Yeah.
Well, I need to have a cloak or something. I need to be in a little cabinet, something like that. And I want to also my head to be covered with something. And I need my stick. I have a big stick, and that is my ground. I hold the stick while I'm doing the ritual, and then I'm sitting. Sometimes I'm using smudge, but it's not necessary for me to do it. And I also prefer to call in the witches, the little ones, the elves, to tell them that something's going on here. And then again, preferably I have one to sing for me. I can't sing myself, but it's better to have one or more to sing. And also I like that it's not my question. I like that people come to me and say, could you please do a Seiðr on this question? So it's not me who's doing it. I'm doing it for somebody. Then I'm sitting on the chair. People are standing around me, and they start to sing. And I'm just closing my eyes and follow the song and see what comes. And normally, suddenly, a special lady is there, and she come and get me and take me where I need to go to have the answer for this question. And when I'm finished with the travel, I come back, and I'm back with the question, but I'm still in a kind of a trance. I say I'm back, and they stop singing. I tell the answer, and when I have told the answer of the question they gave me, then they can come one by one and ask questions, and I can then go back and get the question, get the answer, and come back again. And when there are no more question, or if the energy stops before that, then I'm totally back.
And is this indoors or outdoors usually?
Both.
Both.
It depends. It can be both.
Yeah. Beautiful. And we don't know exactly how they used to do these rituals, but this is kind of what we can see from the sagas, right?
Yeah, we have one description in the saga of Eric the Red, where they tell about Torbjörg, little Völva. She is coming to the farm, and she's sitting on the high seat, and she have this lady. She want somebody to sing for her. She's very honored when she come there. Everybody honor her, and they give her the best food, and she want to sing, and nobody knows the Varðlokur, but one lady called Gudrun, and Gudrun she's a Christian, so she don't want to sing it. But then they make pressure on her, and the Völva says to her that you will not be a bad woman if you do this to help people. And then she start to sing, and then when she's finished, all the Seiðr is finished, then the Völva says to her, you was sing it so beautiful that there was many more nature spirits that normally will not be here. So that is also why I say this, with the spirits are coming to you, you're not traveling to them. Your Varðlokur is calling the spirits in.
Tell me about your book.
Yeah. Many years ago, 20 years ago, I wrote a book about Asatru. But the thing with the Asatru is that it changes. It changes, and I get wiser, and I know more things. So for many years, I like to make a new one. And last autumn, it came out, and I have it here. It is like this.
I just love that photo, the cover.
Yeah. I'm sitting as a Völva. I'm painted in my face. I'm not normally doing that to making a ritual, but I think they might have done it sometimes those days.
Oh.
And in the book, I am describing how I think, or how I believe, what Asatru is for me. I'm describing my rituals. I'm telling the stories. I'm also telling about the gods. I'm also telling about a little bit about Seiðr and all what is, you can see, relevant. It's not out in the US yet, but it is translated to English. So it's only until I have a publisher, then it will be out. But again, it's my way of doing things. And I have a lot of material in it. And I like people to see it as an inspiration. I describe my rituals. People can take what they want to use and they can throw the rest away. It's not the only right way to do the Asatru. It's how I like to do it.
Very cool. I want to read it.
Yeah.
Maybe see if you can ship it to the US, or if I have to wait until I come back to Denmark next time.
I think you can order it by my publisher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she sent out, so why not try?
Awesome.
Yeah.
Just the cover. It's just, everybody, you got to go look at that. It's just I'll link to it. But it just looks magnificent.
It's a very famous Danish guy who took the photo called Jim Lyngvild.
Oh,
You heard about him?
I haven't. No.
I haven't. Okay, check him out. He's living in a Viking castle, and he has his own Viking hof for Odin, and he's an artist and a very, very interesting man. I really like him. He's one of my good friends.
Wow.
Taking a lot of magnificent photos.
Did he build a Viking castle?
Yes.
Wow.
He had help, but he was within the building himself also. It's very, very cool. I have to say that. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to see that.
Yeah. He has Viking markets 2 times a year. So that's the only time when it's open for public, because he don't want people come running all the time. But
yeah.
Yeah.
Where is it in Denmark?
On Fynön.
Okay.
So it's
Where
in the
I'm
middle
from.
of the thing. Okay. Yeah.
Nice. What was I gonna ask you?
Maybe the runes?
Yeah, but I feel like there was something just related to this. Oh yeah, before we get into the runes, I went to see the Glavendrup stone, rune stone, on Fynön when I was there last month. Yeah. And so this is, for those who don't know, this is an old area from, well, the runestone is from the Viking era, but the area itself has been used all the way down back to Bronze Age for burial grounds and ritual work. And to me, when I walked into that area, I just immediately felt, and the energy was just very different. Yeah, magnificent. Yeah. And the reason why I'm speaking with you today is because I met some Vikings there, reenactment or real Vikings, and they told me about you and said you definitely need to talk to the Völva from Ribe.
Yeah. Were there what was this little market?
Yeah, they did a little market for the weekend at the end of August, I think it was, or beginning of September.
Yeah. And what was that on a Saturday or Sunday?
It was on a Friday that I was there. They were just setting up.
Yeah, okay, because I was there too.
Oh, you were?
Yeah. But I came 6 o'clock Friday and I was not there Saturday, and Sunday I was back again. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
How funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they mentioned also that you've been doing some readings or rituals by the stone.
Yeah, that's not what can I call it? first time I was at that Viking market, they asked me to be a storyteller. And I was like this, storytelling there. There's only one story I can tell, and that's the story about Ragnhild, the one woman who put up the stone. But nobody knows the story. We only know that she has had 2 husbands, and she put up 2 runestones in Denmark. So that is actually what we know. I think your sound is disappeared now.
Oh, really?
Now it's back. Yeah. Okay. So I just opened up and just, what will Ragnhild tell me? And then this story came, and I have been telling it by the stone for some times, where I'm not in a trance, but I'm pretending that I am sitting in a trance, and then I let Ragnhild tell her story through my mouth. I'm actually really happy for that story, telling how she was, as a kid, she was playing with a guy nearby, but she was not allowed to marry him because he was not on her level, but he was a really really good friend of her brother, Ulver. We know also she had a brother called Ulver, and then she was given away to a man in Zealand instead, and she went to him, and he was much older than her, but they were together for 10 years. They never got kids. He had kids, and then he died. And what to do, because when they not have kids, she would not inherit anything. She could stay, but she will still be, not wish to be there, because the kids were at her age, so they didn't want her there. And then she came back to Funen and found out that Ali, her former playmate, he was never married, but he has been out in war in England, and he was now the guder of north of Funen and the Tyne of the army, really high leveled. So now they was allowed to marry, and then they married. Blah, blah, blah. Nice little story, ending with that Ali dies, and she also she put up the stone for him also. She put up a stone for the first husband, put up this stone for Ali, and then she dies also.
Okay. Wow.
But we cannot say if it's true.
Okay, so this is just what came to you when you were trying to connect with her spirit.
Yeah.
Is that normal that women would put up a stone for their men who had died?
It's not normal, but it's not unusual.
Okay.
Right now, I'm not sure I can remember many stones put up by women, and then since she had put up 2 stones, that means that she has been someone.
Yeah.
And a special thing is also that both stones are made by the same rune master. So that is one who she took with her.
What does it say on the 2 stones?
The first one is mostly about that she put up. I cannot remember it now totally, but she put up it in Tryggevelde in Sjælland. She put up Ragnhild, Ulf's sister, put up this stone for Gunnulf, a very good guy, and then it's also said Thor protect this stone, which also is in Glavendrup. And also that if you take the stone away, you will be very bad. And on the other stone, the Glavendrup stone, it's also that she put up the stone for Ale, Sølve, the guder of the sacred places and the Tyne of the army, and then there is mentioned sons, that his sons made this thing for their dad, and she did it for her husband, and then again Thor protect the stone and nobody should take it away. So in the first, she has probably not had kids because no kids are mentioned, and then the second, the kids are mentioned.
Okay. Do you know if Allesø is named after Elle?
Where is Asatru?
It's close to Odense.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I have to find out. Interesting.
Yeah, me too. I'm gonna have to look it up. Because if he was, this big warrior or chief, then that would make sense that more areas were named after him.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So, do you find it often that these kinds of areas like the Galðr stone and other places with rune stones, that you feel the energy is different because of what has been going on there with rituals and stuff like that?
Sometimes, yes. There's one place specially. It's on Trelleborg, Sjælland, nearby Slagelse. There's this huge Viking fortress. But the Viking fortress is one thing, probably built by Harald Bluetooth, Christian idiot. Sorry, I didn't say that. By Harald Bluetooth. But this place is so powerful that it's totally crazy. If you never have been there, go there. It might scare the shit out of you.
The energy?
Yes. The oldest leftover there is from the Stone Age. There's a so-called Sarup thing where they had rituals in the Stone Age. There are wells from the Iron Age, Viking Age before the fortress, where they have sacrificed also kids into the wells. What we see there, there's a Viking market there every year, and I participate every year. And normally, the other Vikings come to me and say if I would like to perform a blót on the fortress, and I say yes. First time I went there, it was so scary. I always ask if I'm allowed to go in, and they looked at me. I can really feel they are looking at me there. Who are you? Wow. Who are you, and what do you want? Are you coming to make fun of us? But now they know me, so now it's like, okay, you again, huh? Go in. And strange things happen when we go there. In the blót, sometimes we see this. What's it called in English? When you have more than one sun on the sky. Bisol in Danish. Very, very interesting phenomenon where it looked like you have the sun and you have one or two suns beside them. We have seen that after the blót.
I've never seen that.
Okay, I have seen a rainbow on the sky that started when we started the blót and disappeared when we were finished. And people going up there in the night, sometimes they just come back and they will never go there again because spirits are there. It's very, very
wow. Do you know when was that common at some point that we sacrificed children in?
It has been somehow common to sacrifice humans. Yeah.
Okay.
We did that.
But also all the way up in the Viking Age, you think?
Yeah.
Wow. So that part we're not condoning or doing anymore.
No. Everything is changing. The Christianity is also changed from what it was 1,000 years back. We are changing. We do what makes sense. Also, because thing is that no matter what we do, we cannot believe the same way as they did. We know in our days, and when we come to midwinter, to the winter solstice, then the sun will turn. We know it because we have the science. but they didn't know. Maybe the sun will not come back. If we're not going to sacrifice, the sun will not come back. But I cannot put the same energy in a sacrifice because I know the sun will come back. We have, it's back in the 550s. We have a lot of findings from 550s, 60-ish of gold in bogs. Huge sacrifices. And now they found out that there was a big volcano who was making the sun dark. For several summers, there was no sun, no summer. There was winter on winter to Fimbulwinter. So they went to sacrifice the most valuable thing they had in the box. And the sun returns. Now we know it was because of volcano. It would have been back no matter what they did, but they didn't know.
Yeah. Which volcano is this?
I can't remember, but try to look it up. I can't remember which one it was, but it was totally no summer for several years in the north.
That must have been so scary.
Yeah, and people died of they starved to die to death.
Wow. Do you think that because you grew up, you said your dad was also Asatru. Was this something that has been inherited in your lineage, that somehow your family kept some of these ideas alive, or no?
No, my dad was the first one in this in this modern time. His grandmom was telling him stories about the Nordic gods, but as stories. And when he was grown up, he was, okay, you have to believe in something, but God and the devil is boring. I want to believe in something that is giving more sense. And then he tried to the Nordic gods is better. But again, we didn't perform any rituals. It was just, a way of lifestyle. We people are asking, what do I believe? I believe in a Nordic god. Okay. So it was first when I was in my 30s and I started to meet other Asatru people, we started to perform rituals also, and I was more deep into it and found out more about belief and what it would say.
Okay. Do you know if they used any type of plant medicine like we see in other shamanic cultures?
You mean to travel or just to heal?
Both.
We know healing. There is one herb, plantain. You probably know it. And plantain is in Old Norse. It's called læknisgras, which means healing herb. So we know that one has been used.
Okay.
And also we have this Völva's grave from Fyrkat in Denmark, nearby Hobro. And there was some henbane seeds in the grave. And henbane is very poisonous and can also make some hallucinations. And some people are convinced that when they did the Seiðr, they used henbane or some other drugs, but I will say no, because when you do the Seiðr, you have to be in both worlds at the same time, and you cannot be that when you're on drugs. I think it has been used to give a good sleep if people was hurt.
Okay. Yeah. Because I remember when I've read Dani Drohul's book many times, that she mentioned something, and I think the knowledge she has put in her book is something that she got from her grandmother, so something that was given within the family. But she mentions that there was some kind of salve that they would put on the tip of the broomstick. And put it inside, and this is where it comes from, the witches ride on a fly on a broomstick.
I will say it like that. Of course you can do it, because also my stick, you can also say it's also a kind of a broomstick. There's no broom on it, but it is a stick. I could put this balm on it. I could make a balm out of these herbs because I also have her book. And I actually tried it once many years ago. And I will say, don't ever do it.
Okay.
You don't know how strong your herb is. You don't know what will happen. And you can stay out in this area forever. And then you will go to the Luniac hospital.
Wow.
It's very, very dangerous. And somebody was holding their hands over me when I did it. I'm sure, because suddenly my phone rang in the middle of the night. Normally it never does do that. And that woke me up and dragged me back. So never do that. It's too dangerous because you don't know how much you take.
Yeah.
And stop it. You can't stop it.
And so you were just completely out there seeing all kinds of visions. And
I didn't see anything. Everything was black. I was just
gone.
far away.
Wow.
Far away. It was so scary.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this was from Danny Druhyl's book.
Yeah.
Okay.
And many of those herbs she mentions, they was not here in the Viking Age.
Oh, okay.
So most of them, for that, they was not here. Only the henbane we know was here.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, and it's hard to know because the Christians did so well at extinguishing all the old knowledge, so we don't really know what's left over through families or what has come from other cultures throughout
Exactly.
times. Yeah.
Exactly. And thing is that why use drugs when you can use singing?
Yeah.
It's for me. It's no. I don't need the drugs because I can have the same without the drugs.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I agree with that. I do feel there are some people that have a harder time getting into trance, at least maybe the first time, and then for some people it helps them to do a journey, ayahuasca or something like that, and then thereafter they can do it more easily.
But maybe it's because they should not do it.
Yeah, that's true.
Not everybody should do everything. It's my opinion.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Yeah. And that is maybe why it was very hard for me to travel or to be in trance in the beginning when I was younger, because I was not ready for it.
Yeah.
And with the drugs, you open some doors that you might be difficult to close again. And when the door is open all the time, you hear voices, you hear things, you get crazy.
Yeah, that's not something anyone wants.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. We've had a few people on this podcast who talked about plant medicine and how it really helped them. But I've also had people who say the same as you and talking about singing. Yeah, singing yourself into trance or drumming. And
yeah. I would like to show you another thing, but I just have to get it because I forgot to put it here. So just a minute. It's also about this with the singing. I have a very special tool here.
it's what is that?
It's a part of a skull.
A stone?
No, it's a part of a skull.
Ah.
And up here there's runes. And it's a copy of a finding from Ribe. And the finding is dated 725. So I made this replica. and I put on the runes that also is on the original skull. And the rune says, Ulvur and Odin and Heitir, this hole is against pain, and the dwarf is surrendered. And then it says Bur.
What does that mean?
It's a tool to taking away headaches.
Ah.
I didn't know that. First, the scientists they thought that it was a kind of a trepanation. That hole, there's a hole in it here, but it's not, because the hole is made from the inside. So the person was dead before, and then they thought it might be a kind of an amulet was hanging around the neck, but there's no sign of any string or thread or something here. So when I have made this one, I was like, and then I sing this here as a Galðr, and then I use the hole. And these vibrations take away headaches.
Wow.
So
that is amazing.
Yeah. It's very interesting.
We knew so much and we've forgotten so much.
We forgot too many things, yeah.
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 Is that a real human skull?
Yes, it is. Because I wanted to make it the right way.
And did someone donate it to you? How do you get
it was actually very strange, but also again one of the steps on the path. I was searching for a skull for a long time. I was asking museums, I was asking wherever, but the answer was no. And I was like, why can't I get this skull? And then suddenly I saw one of my friends. He was making some casting of human skulls for an exhibition. And I was like, I wrote him and said, hey, please, do you have a piece of a skull I can have? And he immediately wrote back. He said, now I'm scared, he said, because 5 minutes ago, the skull I was working with exploded in my hands. And I threw it out. But now I'll pick it up and you will have it.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Someone was helping you get the skull.
Exactly.
Wow.
And I don't believe in coincidences. So when things like that happen, it's because it should happen.
Yeah. So tell us about runes.
Runes, yeah. To be honest, we don't know if the Vikings used runes for divination for good advices or something like that. We know that before Viking Age, Tacitus is going to Denmark and he's writing back that they used some wooden sticks with some marks on for divination. We also know there's a grave from Iron Age where there is some little sticks where there also is something on that might have been used. And we know that after Viking Age there is runic poems with telling what the rune is meaning. That is what we know. But I think they have used them. We have in the Sigdrifamal, one of the poems in the Older Edda, is telling what its rune is used for, what it means and what it's used for. So I think they've done it, but I use it because I can. I have a runic set here. I have made it myself, picking up stone in Iceland, and I think I will take Take 3 runes to you. We'll see what they will say. Yaha. The first one I get, or you get, is this one. Elgar. Elgar says that you are burning your candle in both ends. You have to take more care about yourself. You have to learn to say no. It's not selfish to take care of yourself. It's very important. So try to be a little bit more selfish, or what you can call it. Think more about yourself.
Okay.
Then here we have Hagel. And Hagel means hail. If you go outside and suddenly it starts to hail, what do you do then?
Go inside.
Mm-hmm. What if it suddenly starts to hail in your life?
Go inside.
How far inside? Do you hide under your blanket?
Meditation.
Yeah. Maybe you should try to not hide so much. Because if you hide too much, you cannot see when the sky is blue again. And the risk is that you are going so much into a meditation that you don't see the sky is blue, but when your meditation is finished, it starts a new hail and you think it hail all the time. So it's okay to search for a shelter, but you still need to be able to see what happened. And then the last one is Wraith. And Wraith means the inner journey. It's like you are making things difficult for yourself by some things you are doing, some habits you have. There's some habits you need to change, some patterns you need to break. Then things will be easier. It absolutely can have something to do with that you are not good enough to say no. That you're not, people are using you maybe because you cannot say no to them. And that makes things difficult for you. And also this with running too much away when troubles come to you, then you run away and kind of see when the troubles is over.
Very interesting. Well, I have been hiding somewhat the last 6 months because we haven't been able to go outside without wearing a mask, and I don't really enjoy that.
No.
So I've been at my house and, in my yard a lot and in the mountains here.
Yeah.
So yeah, and everything is just changing so fast out in the world, and LA is not, I live in the mountains outside LA, and it's not really the way it was when I first moved here. Now it's like going to Roskilde camp.
Yeah.
Everyone is out of job and homeless, because of the government's reaction to this virus.
Yeah.
So it's like everything is like it turned into a third world country within 6 months.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess I have been hiding a little bit. I don't know if I feel like I do say yes usually when people ask me for help, but I don't feel that it's that much or that often. But
it's like you're burning your candle in both ends.
Okay.
That you need more rest, I think, in some way.
Okay. Yeah. maybe more rest for the mind, because I do get a lot of sleep, but I do have a tendency to want to be engaged in knowledge all the time, reading or listening to podcasts and a lot of the time.
Again, if you're not able to go out, then it's hard.
Yeah, then because you do need some kind of stimuli.
Yeah, of course.
Wow. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I love the runes. So you do these sessions with people in person and over Skype as well, or?
Also over Skype, yes. Or Messenger, or what platform we use. We can use both. So it's then it will be a little bit longer. Then I will go more deep into it. This is going to get out public, so therefore it can be too personal. But then it will take more runes, and we will talk. It takes about half an hour or something like that.
Okay. Yeah. Wow. That is so cool. And the runes, are they do they always mean the same, or is it
normally
different?
Yes. It's a little bit like tarot.
Okay.
That will also mean the same when you get it. Here there's only 24. So there's only 24 possibilities, but sometimes they are laying together in a way that you can say, okay, then they work together.
Okay. Does it mean something else if they're upside down?
No.
Okay.
Not in my readings.
Okay. And how did you become so knowledgeable about runes and working with runes?
By practicing. And that was, you think, in the beginning on the Viking Centre, I just offered people to take a rune. And then it was very short what I said. But in these years I have been working with them, and it's now 11 years, something like that. 12 years maybe. They have just told me more and more. So that is, I listen to the runes, what comes in when I'm working with them. Still I get new messages. It's still in the same thing, but there are more pictures on it, so people can see what I mean more easily. And I like to connect stories. There is, for example, there's this rune Vin, which mean everything that is wonderful and positive and fantastic in the world. It normally means that you have to focus more on the positive things. And there I use this old, I think it's a Native America story about the two wolves. There's a white wolf and a black wolf, and a negative wolf and a positive wolf and a negative wolf. And which of the wolves will grow? It's the one you're feeding.
Yeah.
So that I put on the runes because it fits so perfect to that rune, because that story so suddenly came to me when I was working with that rune. Oh, I can explain it with that story. Then people can connect more to it.
Did you know what the runes meant after just from using them over time, or did you read about what other people have said they meant?
I read about it because I think that there is something that is fje, for example, means cow, cattle, and cattle was, if you had a lot of cattle in the Viking Age, you're rich. So it has something to do with virility. It has something to do with being rich. So the keywords is the common keywords of the runes. And I have used a woman called Sirona Knight. She wrote a book about the runes, the Little Giant Encyclopedia of the Runes, I think it's called. And that was the Völva from Iceland who recommended that one, and I really like it. It's good. There's not much crap out there, to be honest. but this one is good, and I like it.
So reenactment.
Yeah.
I'm gonna write that down. Did you I thought it was pronounced fehu.
Yeah, I mean, I use the Icelandic names for them.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that is my skill. Fehu is more the Germanic name, but Fje is the Icelandic name.
Okay. Yeah, I also hear some people say Seiðr and some people say Seiðr. Is that also the Icelandic and then the Danish?
Yeah, Seiðr is the Icelandic or original or Old Norse name for it.
Okay.
A site is Danish.
What's the English? Is that either or?
I will use the Icelandic, the Seiðr, I would say.
Okay.
Because you don't have really a English name. I don't think so. Maybe Evelyn Ristic is having an English name for it, American name for it, because she's working a lot with that. Do you know her?
No.
You should look her up. Evelyn Ristic.
Evelyn Ristic.
Yeah, she has. She wrote a book called The Norse Shaman.
Huh.
It's a good one.
Very cool. What else do you want to share with us before we wrap up?
Well, I don't know if I have much more right now. We have been a lot around different things. Also the Galðrs, because with the skull is a Galðr. The skull Galðr is very much related with the Mersebook Galðrs. The Mersebook charms. Pole and Odin went to the woods is one of them. There are two. They were found in Mersebook in Germany, and they are dated 800-900. So they're very interesting, but they are in Old High German. I use them also, but I use them in the original language also, and they are also very powerful.
They are Galðrs?
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. I didn't think we had anything left.
Oh yes, those two we have, and they are. Do you know the band Heilung?
Yes.
Yeah, they have the Mersebook one. They have it in one of on the newest CD. One of I can't remember which track it is, but one of them is a Mersebook, and I think they start with the Mersebook and then they go over to Groa Galðr, and then they have Mersebook again.
And what are those two things?
Groa Galðr is a poem from the Poetic Edda, Older Edda, where Svipdag is going to wake up his dead mom because he has been thrown out from home, and then he go to the grave hill and wake her up, and she is coming out and she is singing Galðrs for him to help him to, good advices or good Galðrs to help for everything.
Very cool.
And then the Mersebook, but there's I can't remember, but I can send it to you which one it is. That is
okay.
Iris Sason EDZ. It's the first of the Mersebook. It's really cool. Good. And also one of the other songs on this CD, that is the rune poem. I think it's the one called Noropu. That is a rune poem song.
Nice.
Yeah.
Huh, I didn't even know. I've been making my own Galðrs.
Yeah, you can do that. No problem with that. But these are, and the funniest thing about the one of the Mersebook, it's for healing bones, and they call upon Pole and Odin went to the forest. Then Baldur's horse has twisted his leg, and then was Singund was singing. She was the sister of Suna. Freya was singing, the sister of Fulla, and Odin was singing as he could do it. And then they say bone to bone, blood to blood, and joint to joint. First they say for doesn't matter, but they say that, and then as it glued together. The funny thing about that is that it's found in a Danish witch book from the 16th century, nearly the same. But it's in Danish, not in Old High German, and it's not Paul and Odin anymore. It's Saint Peter and Jesus and Maria. So they changed the name to Christian names, but otherwise it's the same.
Wow.
That is very interesting. It has been used for 800 years. I used it a week ago. An older lady, and she was shocked because her knee didn't hurt anymore when I was finished.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Wow. So you do visit people and do your magic with them?
No, she was a volunteer on the Viking Centre, and she told me she had twisted her knee, and I was like, well, okay, I think I should try to do something, and well, so I did it.
Nice.
Yeah.
So if people are in Denmark, they can come talk to you and see what you do at the Viking Centre in Ribe, right?
Yeah. But
are you there full time or?
Nah, because I'm connected to it because I'm a teacher and I have my students out in the center because they're studying tourism. So it's a good idea to make an appointment with me before they come. So people are sure that I'm there.
Okay.
And I'm on Facebook. So the Vølva from Ribe. So people can find me there.
Okay. So that's the best place to find you, or do you have a website as well?
I think Facebook is the best. I have a website, but it's not updated because I'm using Facebook for the most.
Okay. So we'll link to that in the show notes.
Yeah.
And to your book in Danish as well, and then hopefully you'll get a publisher in the US so you can release the English version, because that would be so cool. All right. Any parting words before we wrap this up?
I don't think I have any. So if you don't have more questions, I think we are done.
Well, it's been a pleasure learning more about you and the Völva's work and the history of this area. And thank you so much. I'm going to have you come back some other time.
Yeah, I sometimes do also lectures over via Zoom, for example. So if a group of people want that, last time I did it, we just said that they could donate what they want to give. And if somebody wants to host a Zoom meeting, I can make a lecture. Then people can ask the questions. And I can tell more about it, maybe.
Very cool. Should I put your email address in the show notes as well, or?
I think Facebook is. You also put the email, but Facebook is the thing I'm mostly is in contact with people on.
Okay. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna stop the recording. Thank you so much, Gudrun.
Welcome.